Hey guys, it's me, Lee Suman, head of the famous global entertainment company, SM Entertainment. I was born in 1952, also Sunny is my niece. Haha, I got you. It's just me, Cheetah Sweater. Today we're going to be reviewing Red Velvet's newest EP, the ReVe Festival Day 2. Red Velvet is a K-pop girl group founded in 2014. The group has 5 members, Irene, Seulgi, Wendy, Joy, and Yeri, and has built up a large fan base due to their talent and their relative uniqueness in K-pop, especially considering just how popular they are. Musically, they tend to experiment significantly more than most other groups in their generation receiving the same amount of attention that they are, and I've grown very fond of them for that reason precisely. I won't go into detail because I just did a review of the precursor to this EP where I went into probably too much detail about their past work. If you don't really know anything about Red Velvet, I'd suggest checking out that review first if you want a better first impression of them. But anyways, my opinions on the previous EP, the ReVe Festival Day 1, were pretty positive. I certainly had my grievances with the title track. The word Zimzalabim does not exist, but if it did exist, this song made me realize that I would absolutely hate the sound of it. But the rest of the EP ranged from okay to fantastic, and honestly, regardless of where they were on that scale, all the B-sides interested me, except for Parade, and it was referencing to hear such a creatively written album, even if it wasn't perfect. Songs like Sunny Side Up and most of the other B-sides really demonstrated Red Velvet's flair and creativity in subtly crossing over genres and combining elements of different styles like reggae or bossa nova to add flavor to their already captivating presence in the K-pop industry. Even including the title track, Day 1 reinforced the idea that Red Velvet and their producers and writers were very much willing to take some risks and make relatively bold choices in their song composition, and I was very much satisfied with being reassured of that. My expectations for Day 2 were for them to probably change up the sound of the album, but still keep up that level of experimentation and uniqueness that set almost every song on Day 1 apart from the others and made each song memorable. However, when they started releasing the teasers for this EP, I was a bit wary. While I really enjoyed the teasers for the title track, the other songs were just a bit lackluster. It's not that they were bad, and really they were pretty alright, but the thing is that none of the B-sides seemed as memorable to me as the B-sides from Day 1, or really memorable at all. And now is the time for an intermission where I drink orange juice. I drank the orange juice. Throughout the promo cycle of this project leading up to when it was released, I just hoped and hoped that maybe, just maybe, the teasers previewed unflattering parts of the songs, or that I was just tired and didn't like them as much as I would have if I was listening to the teasers at a decent hour. The release of the EP came and it just wasn't that good. The title track, Umpah Umpah, was the best and most memorable song on the EP by a mile. It's a really funky song and it's kind of an earworm. Quite frankly, it gets stuck in my head whenever I think about it, and the persistent in the background is incredibly catchy and pops into my head randomly a lot. So I think the song definitely worked as far as being a song that I can listen to all the time. It's certainly more accessible than Zimzalabim was, and I guess that's not necessarily always a positive when it comes to Red Velvet, but I think it's definitely a good thing that they went more gen pop friendly with this song, because I think as a result it's easier to listen to and certainly made with catchiness and appeal in mind, which I think ultimately puts it above Zimzalabim in a lot of ways. I don't really have a whole lot to say about it other than that. The song kind of speaks for itself in a lot of ways, and it's not super outstanding in the grand scheme of Red Velvet's discography, but it's still a great song, and if you're gonna listen to any song from this EP, it should certainly be that one. Carpool was the only other song on Day 2 that I remember, honestly. It's a pretty charming, upbeat pop song, fairly run-of-the-mill as far as pop goes, but still really enjoyable and sweet. It's just a feel-good song. Jumpin' is okay, but it's pretty samey and kind of one-dimensional. It's at its worst a fairly generic pseudo-trap song, and it's at its best a less good version of Rookie. The bridge doesn't even particularly captivate me, which really sucks because that tends to be one of the coolest parts of their songs. I mean, just look at About Love. Ladies' Night is, in my opinion, the most uninteresting song on the album. I mean, I appreciate the brass and the funky guitar, and in general the instrumentation is really nice, but the song's writing just doesn't take advantage of that instrumentation. It's overall just kind of boring to me in its songwriting, and yeah, the bridge sounds nice, but it's hardly worth listening to the rest of the song to get to, and the song is honestly just so mediocre it's a little bit frustrating. Eyes Locked, Hand Lock is a ballad. And a ballad with a terrible title at that. I don't make reviews with the intent of trashing entire styles of music, but I'm gonna trash ballads real quick. The oversaturation of the K-pop market right now with ballads is kind of crazy. I mean, I get that they evoke emotion and that they're very slow and can be beautiful, and some of my favorite K-pop songs are ballads. No question that we're written in the stars. but ballads a lot of the time, and especially Red Velvet's, just don't tend to interest me. I don't know, I guess I'm kind of generalizing, but when I think about it, Red Velvet's ballads just bore me. They're not especially good in my opinion, and this song is certainly no exception. Love Is The Way is good, I guess. As I wrote this, I re-listened to the song, and it's better than I remember, but it's just not as outstanding as it could have been, and I guess that's the best way to describe how I feel about the EP in general. The EP is not bad, but it's just not as good as it could have potentially been. I think the most disappointing thing is that, despite the girls giving it their all and putting the effort in for this project, the writing just falls short of what usually makes Red Velvet's music so exciting to me. I wanted something that in any way pushes the boundaries and does things that I wouldn't hear from my other favorite K-pop groups, but I just didn't get that from this album. It's disappointing considering how excited I was for this album, and I hope Day 3 will have the same spark that Day 1 had that made it so great to me and set my expectations so high for Day 2. I'm giving this album 6 super cool Wendy's out of 10.
Hello.